What's up guys, my name's Liam and in today's video we're going to be taking a look at the Tenta-X Jinsoku speed pad. This is the fastest soft pad that I have received from them, and the performance is somewhat in line with something like the Artisan Raiden. So if that's something that you're interested in taking a further look into, I'm going to try and break down how my experience has been with this pad so far in as much detail as possible. I'll be also comparing it to some of the competition, and hopefully by the end of this video I'll be able to help you decide whether or not this could possibly be the perfect mouse pad for you. So let's check it out. Before we get started today, I did want to let you know this was sent out to me. However, everything you'll be hearing in this video is going to be my own words and my own opinions. Here's a look at the packaging this did arrive in. As you can clearly tell, it is flat packaged, and it does have this Velcro backing on it, so pretty cool. Nice and easy to store in this if you did need to do so. And included inside the box, it did come with a couple of stickers. Looks like a white and a black one. Also does come with this card, and they also do include a set of the Unusual Way Sports Magic Ice dot skates. When picking this up, you do have a couple of different options. They do have this black colorway. They also do have a purple colorway. The version I have here in front of me is 490 millimeters in width by 420 millimeters in height. They also do have a 500 by 500 option, but they're both sitting at 3.5 millimeters in thickness. This is using a soft polyurethane base, and I've talked about these many times in my videos in the past. I really do like these polyurethane bases. They do have a pretty quick rebound to them. The stitching on this was done very well. It's very small and minimalistic, and it even does sit slightly below the surface itself. They do have their logo down here in the bottom right hand corner, and it is raised up on the surface, so if you were to move your mouse down here, you can feel it on the bottom of your skates. So when it does come to the surface of this mouse pad, I don't know exactly what type of material this is made out of. You do notice a little bit of a texture there along the y-axis, and I feel like you do also notice texture there on the X. It does feel a little less abrasive to me than it does along the Y. And even though I don't know exactly what the surface is made out of, it does have a little bit more of that slippery feeling. So it does kind of feel somewhat similar to the material of like the Artisan Raiden. And I did do all my testing on this pad with the Magic Ice skates. Even though these aren't the ones that are included dot skates, these are the full set size for the G Pro Superlight. And you get just that typical type of experience if you ever had dealt with any of these types of speed pads before. You get a very low sense of static friction, and the dynamic friction on this, you get a really quick glide as well. However, if you were to start putting weight on top of this and pushing into it, I do feel like you can still gain a pretty decent sense of control for a speed pad anyways, though you are going to be clearly getting a much quicker experience on both the static and dynamic than a traditional style cloth pad. So for the comparisons, I'll start out by comparing it to something like the Lamzu Energon, and as I'm moving my finger across the X and the Y axis, the Energon does feel like it has a little bit less of a texture. You definitely do notice more of a texture here, especially along that Y axis there. The performance and feeling between both of these, again, the materials don't feel a whole lot further from one another, but there is a little bit of a difference in the performance between both of these. Even though these both are speed pads, the Energon does feel a little bit slower. I notice a little bit greater sense of static and dynamic friction there on the glide. So to me, all around, the Tenta-X Jinsoku feels a little bit quicker than the Energon. Let's go ahead and drop the speed test comparison between both of them. So to finish it off, like I've already mentioned, this pad just feels most similar to me to something like the Artisan Raiden. Even though the weave on both of these pads is different, again, you just kind of get that same type of a feeling where you do notice a bit of a texture there. And truly the performance and similarities between these pads is very similar to one another. But for the Raiden, since it's a little bit worn in, this does tend to slow down a little bit over time. So as I was going back and forth between both of these, there's honestly not a whole lot of a difference there. However, the Jinsoku was feeling just a slight bit faster to me, and that was even the result that I was getting on the glide test comparison. So I'll just go ahead and drop that for you really quick, but truly these really do feel really close to one another just in the overall performance. All right guys, so that about wraps things up over here on the Jinsoku, and truly I really like this pad a lot. I believe that this is on their website right now for $33.99. The fact that it does also include skates with that, I honestly do feel like this is a fantastic price. Again, just everything about this pad, the stitching on this looks fantastic to me. The quality of the pad, it feels really nice. It's been a joy to game on. And if this is something that you're looking for in terms of performance, I used to main speed pads. Like I mained the Artisan Raiden for a long time. I've kind of changed and gone a little bit more towards control pads. So this has been a little bit too fast for me for what I have been using in recent times. However, it has been a joy to use, and I can absolutely recommend if you're into this type of a performance performance of a surface going and checking it out. So if you guys do have any additional questions or feel like I left anything out, please let me know in the comments down below. If you have enjoyed watching this video and are interested in seeing more videos like this in the future, please drop this video a like and subscribe to my channel. Thank you guys so much for watching. I look forward to seeing you in the next one.